Morning, everybody. So here we are the next day, and got our piece here. It looks pretty good. There's a little bit of thickness in here, a little bit at the tip. Not a lot. I mean, it's not a thick piece at all. But I mean, by the time that edge is regularized, it really wouldn't be. And the problem is that this is so crispy that if I get it too thin, it's going to snap for sure. And if I leave it too thick, I'm not going to be able to notch it. Now, part of it being crunchy is I might be able to notch through it thicker than what I normally can, because it is so crunchy. Or it may just stall right out. So I don't know. It could go either way with this piece, but I'm going to take a couple thin-end strikes, and then we'll just kind of regularize the edge a little bit more. It's not bad now, but we'll regularize it a little bit more, and then start doing whatever we're going to do for notches here. So let's do that. I haven't hit anything this morning. I've only had a couple sips of coffee. But that's all right. Hopefully I don't mess it up. I could have just messed it up right there. I hit it just a little hard. I'm afraid to hit it too hard. Mostly because I don't want to take a big bite out of it or something. Let's see here. I've got this platform right here. I'm going to hit that and see if I can get in there. Thin that a little bit and clean that up, hopefully. Or to go in there and hit that bad spot and make a bigger mess. It didn't. It thinned it. So that's good. I've got more thickness in this base than I'd like. The rest of it's looking pretty good, but that base is a little thicker than I might want it. That didn't help anything, not one bit. Not even a little bit. Try and come in from the side. I keep running up against that and then not being able to get across it, so I'm not sure how to get to that yet. There we went. Did you guys see that big old flake just pop off there? Went all the way around like that. That was a big old flake, just popped right off there. I was afraid it broke it. That went a long ways to thinning the base. You have to say, better be lucky than good. Oh, those barking dogs. I know y'all probably just sick and tired of hearing them. All right. So I'm really getting into this drill thing, and I made the first one. It's kind of plain Georgetown when you might have seen the video. I kept having some mishaps like I normally do, and it ended up in a drill. But anyways, I made another one after that, a kind of a wore down Dalton style drill, and that was pretty cool. But I got some ideas for some more drills. Make it drill with a just wing it base. And some other things. I thought I'd start with finer copper, but I may need to stick with the bigger stuff maybe to throw some flakes in there a little further. Not that the little copper won't throw big flakes, it's just that I mean, there's no competition here between the big stuff and the little one. I'd like to have done without that. I'm going to have to be careful. I could break this pretty easy. so we got a fat spot here. Let's try to, yeah. It didn't run in very far. I tried. That one ran in further. Probably 3/4 of an inch. Anything to help thin that base out just a little bit more. We're definitely smaller than I intended. We measured it before we started, and I believe we were 4 inches by 3 inches, something like that. Have to review the video, but we lost the edge a few times with the crunchiness. So you just got to roll with those things. It's going to happen. You get mad, throw your tools. That ain't gonna do you no good. Well, it never did me any good. I never actually threw my tools, but there's a few times that I probably would have liked to have. I took a little bit of a gouging type flake. I gotta straighten out this tip. We may lose some of the tip. I took a little bit too deep a flake right there. So it's got a little crazy going on there. I like to quit picking at this. Because we're losing our pink. We probably will lose the pink before it's over, unfortunately. But I still have to make the point. And the crunchiness just kind of messed things up a little bit. All right. Let's see here. I don't remember where we're at, but so used to cable TV and streaming stuff. We were somewhere in the motorhome, and it has the TV on it, of course, and it picks up a bunch of free TV, depending on where you're at. But some places we've been at, it gets tons of channels. Ain't none of them any good, but there's a few things you can stand to watch if you have to, but for the most part it's not that great. But what do you expect for free? That's still pretty though. I mean, got that little flare there and the white lightning strike in it. It's lenticular. It's got some big bold flakes across it. It's a pretty piece. I don't care who you are. I am really worried about the notching. Let me finish my story about the motorhome. Anyways, we were out and we were watching that free TV. I had no idea there were so many of those free TV things out there, but we stay up pretty late when we're out camping, goofing around. Don't have no work to do. And all those stations turn off. We didn't have any cell signal to do a Wi-Fi hotspot for the streaming, but we did have that. But all those stations turn off like at 10 o'clock or 11 o'clock or midnight. They vary some, but all those free channels, they do that. And they do in their station they'd advertise their station when they go off. It's the station identification thing. But it was kind of a step back in time. I hadn't seen that in forever. Since back in the 3-channel, 2-channel days. Get your brother outside with a tinfoil hat on, holding on to the antenna so you could watch Saturday morning cartoons. Yeah. I'm easily sidetracked, so when I start telling a story and get sidetracked, yeah, it's just an ADD moment. I'm sure if you've been watching my videos, you're like, good grief, he started another whole conversation, and then and now he's on to something else. Believe it or not, that's how it is to have an actual conversation with me. It's not on purpose, it just happens. Highly distracted. All right, so what am I doing now, you might ask? Just rounding these corners a little bit. That's all I'm doing. So my idea was to make a Thebes. That's what I was thinking last night. I went back and forth between a whole bunch of different point types last night, and I decided to make a Thebes, but it's shrank quite a bit since then. But it's still in range of the Thebes. So all we're going to try to do... Lost my pencil, hold on. Okay, so we're back. All we're going to do is just some corner notches here. I'm going to probably take the corner out like this. And then just kind of run some notches. I'm going to try and run them something like that there. I'd like them to have a little bit of curve up to them if at all possible. This may get so crunchy that that may not work out, or it still may be too thick. It could use one thinning flake right there. I don't know if I'm going to take it or not though, because it's not bad at all. be the best place to take that. Actually, I'm not going to take it. I'm going to leave it alone this time. Let's see, what else do I got here? I cleaned my bags all out. I cleaned them all out. Now they're filling with flakes again. So I sit off here to the side and I start doing stuff and it fills all the pockets full of flakes. Now this is not a thick point, but it's not a thin point either. And this notching could very well stall out, or because it's so crunchy, I could very well break this thing in the notching process. Either one is definitely a possibility. Busted that ear right off there. Just kind of flaked right off. So definitely have to try to throw the flakes when I'm flaking away from the ear, and that's, I think, what happened there. I started to try to turn, and when I tried to turn, it got in too close, and so when forcing the flakes off, I got to force them out away from this ear as much as possible. The only way I know to get up in there is to come up from the bottom like this in order to turn the corner. in there. And I'm thinking about going to this tool if I can get it extended out far enough. So I need some reach. I mean, I could leave the notches like that. That's deep enough. They don't have to be deeper than that. It'd look better if they were a little deeper, I think, though. Sometimes you gotta do a little extra work to your tools for certain pieces. On that one, I was just trying to thin the profile of this. Hey, Rebel. Come here, bud. All right, go on. Well, that one is trying its best to stall out on me. Now, a lot of them have a little concave base, and some of them are not concaved at all. So I guess it varied from piece to piece. I still want those deeper, but this one right here may be stalled out, unfortunately. Or maybe it just needs some copper. Those notches are starting to get a little depth to them. Looking pretty good. Pretty doggone good. All right. These have pretty good sized notches on them. Most of them that you see, they're pretty good size. All right. I don't know. Not sure what happened with my real skinny one. Okay, now these were beveled, so the plan is to make a beveled edge, which unfortunately is probably going to lose my pink over here on the side. So I'm not 100% sure whether or not I'm willing to make it beveled or not. I guess if I lose it, I lose it, I guess. And we don't have to make a hard bevel, I wouldn't think. Just as long as it's beveled. And I do not do very many beveled edges. Most of the time, if the points had a beveled edge, I don't do it anyways. Mostly because I prefer a different look. But for this, we're going to go ahead and do a devil. We're going to do a beveled edge. A beveled edge, so. And all that's doing really is just moving the edge all the way over to one side. So when you're doing a beveled edge, you just take all your flakes from one side. It's the exact opposite of regularizing, I guess. Regularizing, you're trying to put the edge right in the center of the blade. Ow! Man, that wasn't even much of a poke, but I sure bled for it. Let me put a band-aid on that. Y'all don't want to be... Don't want to be staring at me bleeding. I'll be right back. Okay, so that was barely a poke, but it wanted to bleed. So all in all, I think our point's looking halfway decent. That's all we're doing on the beveling on that one. Let's clean off a couple of spots. Now this one, so this one beveled this way. We're going to just flip it like this, and this one's going to bevel this way. So that the bevels are on opposite sides. That popped off a bunch of that thickness we were talking about earlier. Has a little bit more thickness on this side, but which is something I'm just now noticing, that really we're a little bit thicker on this side than this side. It's not a tremendous amount, but it is thicker. It's funny when you get down to the finished part, then there's, you know, it may be just a fraction of a bit, but it really starts showing. Which tells you how important that initial thinning and prep part is. So that everything's even when you get to this part. And I'll tell you what caused that. So in my head, and it's not huge, but it is there. But trying to preserve that pink, which pretty much ended in failure. It does have a piece right there, and what that trying to preserve that is why this edge is a little thicker than the other one. That's my excuse anyhow. I am glad that we were able to save at least a little piece of it after all that. So I'm gonna go to my dome pad here. So every point you usually learn a little bit of something. And in my experience, sometimes it takes those, at least for me, it takes time for those lessons to sink in. And sometimes those sink in by having a day or two off. And I don't know how it works. Somewhere in the back of your brain, it just thinks about those things and things settle in, and I'm not sure how it all works, but it takes time. And I learned a few lessons on this one, so that's good. And one of those lessons is no matter how bad you want to preserve something, thinning comes first. And it's not that it's bad at all. It really isn't. I really honestly don't know how to straighten out this this bevel. It's not horrible. That helped a little bit. Yeah, that helped. It really wasn't noticeable until I beveled. And it's a little bit. I don't even have a flake that thin. That's actually too thick. It's probably half the thickness of that. That's more on one side than the other. It's pretty minor, but it is there. I was pretty much pushing straight down with those, trying to throw a little flake in there because the edge isn't perfectly straight. Well, it's never perfect, but see how far that threw that in there? And that's just pressing straight down. All the way over to there, and that's thinning that side out, or thick side. and it's keeping this flat on this side, so we still have maintaining our bevel. Squeezing with my right hand. That actually helped a lot. All right. So the question is going to be, is there anything else we want to do to this? Ooh, don't break the thing off. Okay. So it always makes some symmetry look off when you got a bevel like that. To me it does. It's like a good way to get out of good symmetry. So some of these examples have the sides convexed a little bit. And that's just from resharpening, I'm sure. But I actually think we're pretty much done. All right, let's look here. Of course, none of these were made out of Mookaite, because Mookaite is an Australian stone, so. Yeah, I know that. I know no matter what I do, it's not going to be correct, because I've used the wrong stone. That's okay. We don't care about any of that. Both sides are about the same. Pretty much the same as far as quality goes. But here's some Thebes here. They're about the same size as that one there. But I'm thinking that I might want to put a little bit of convexity in that, but I'm just not 100% sure. See, this stem here is, I don't know if you can see that or not. There we go. This stem here, the base is convex, and so is that one. That one is too a little bit. Anyways, yeah. That one's almost a match. I actually think I'm going to take another flake off that right there if I can get in there. Heck, I think it's turning. I don't think it is turning. I think it already did turn. All right, we're gonna quit messing with it. That's our point. I think I like that side the best. Most of these had big, bold flaking scars on most of it, with the finer flaking coming in from the side at the bevel. This material here is not that great, so I might pull a few flakes. I think I will pull a few more flakes in right here. It's a little crushy. But it did bring some flake scars in there. Because these all, in examples, they all have pretty bold flakes in the middle and then small flake scars from the sharpening over here, which is what we got now. They just look so goofy. So you turn it over this side because the bevel's on this side and it makes it look like the point's over this way. Turn it over here and now it makes it look, tip look like it's over that way. So that was always goofy with for me with a beveled edge. And there's a lot of beveled points out there, but I'm not as big a fan as a beveled point. I wanted to make this the way they're supposed to be made, but yeah, I pretty much like to have a regular bifacially sharpened point, but that's a pretty point. Nothing wrong with that. We got the lightning stripes in there, and that little piece of pink hanging off there. I think it's fantastic. All right, y'all hit that like and subscribe button. I'll paste this on to the front half, and we have another video. There's our Mookaite red and reddish pink lightning bolt Thebes. Y'all have a great day. Keep napping.